Nityānanda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityānanda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Vande Guru Nisha Bhakta Nisha Nishavatarakān Tat Prakāśam Tadat Shaktim Krishna Caitanya Sangyakam Grantera Arambha Kori Mangalacharana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana Hoya Vigana Vinashana Anayasa Sapal Nijavanchita Purana Jai Jai Kripa Moe Jagatera Nath Sarv Jagatera Kuru Shubha Drishtipad Shri Rupa Raghunatha Padeyara Asha Caitanya-caritāmṛta Kahe Krishna Dasa Jaya Jaya Nityaānanda Nityaānanda Ram Yahara Kripaite Painu Vrindavana Dham. Thank you so much, dear Vaishnavas, for joining and Vaishnavis for joining. We are so grateful, blessed, and fortunate on this day of Dwadashi to read Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta by Hare Kṛṣṇa Goswami, Adi Lila, chapter 5, entitled The Glories of Lord Nityaānanda Balarāma. And we were focusing on this verse yesterday, text number 200, and very nice verse to remember, relish, and memorize. Jaya Jaya Nityananda, Nityananda Ram, Jahara Kripa Pe Painu Vrindavan Dham. So he reached Vrindavan by the mercy of Lord Nityananda, and then he also got Shri Rupa Sanatana Ashraya. Again, by the mercy of Lord Nityananda, he got the Ashraya of the lotus feet of Rupa and Sanatana. Let's proceed from 202. Yaha haite painu Raghunatha Mahashaya, Yaha hoite painu Shri Swarupashraya. Translation and purport by Abhicharanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. By his mercy, I have attained the shelter of the great personality Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, and by his mercy, I have found the refuge of Swarupa Damodara. Purport: anyone desiring to become expert in the service of Sri Radha Krishna should always aspire to be under the guidance of Swarup Damodar Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami. To come under the protection of the Goswamis, one must get the mercy and grace of Nityaānanda Prabhu. The author has tried to explain this fact in these two verses. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So such a beautiful verse here that we are Rupanugas. We are followers of the Rupa Goswami, who is the head of the 6 Goswamis. Shri Rupa Raghunatha, Shri Rupa Raghunatha, Bhatta Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath, Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath. The 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, who are in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. So Srila Prabhupada is specifically mentioning, if we want to become expert, if we desire to become expert in the service of Radha Krishna, then we have to follow those who are experts. Very simple. We are apprentice. We are like trainees. We are sadhakas. Sadhakas means we're trying to do sadhana. We are not perfect devotees. I'm not perfect devotee. I'm trying to be an aspiring devotee. Like in any, even in material field, like people propose a doctor, some of you are engineers, etc. In any field, a new training. Hare Krishna. A new trainee has to follow the expert, right? Whether it's in medical, it's in engineering, it's in law, or in any school of, even material school, material knowledge, a new apprentice, a new trainee follows someone who has been doing that for a long time. How much more it is true for spiritual life? Very important. Because in the spiritual life, it's a descending process. We cannot get to Krishna by ourselves. we need the mercy of Guru Parampara. We need the mercy of Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhatt Raghunatha Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Das Goswami Sri Swarup Damodar. Directly try to reach, we won't be able to. That Lord will not like it. One devotee shared that Krishna is very far from us. Lord is very, very far. And you know, in telescope helps to see far objects. And in the telescope, there are lenses. There's a series of lenses. Those lenses are like the Guru. If the lens is foggy, that's like bad Guru. Foggy lens or unclear lens, damaged lens is like pseudo Guru, bad Guru. That will not help us to see Krishna. But true Guru is like a clear lens who helps us to see Krishna or get to Krishna, who's very, very far, but they help us to make it very near. Therefore, there are multiple series of lenses referring to Guru Parampara. They are like the transparent medium to get this knowledge, to get this bhakti. So, in short, we must become expert in, if we desire to become expert, which is our aspiration, we must take guidance of the Goswamis. And how will we get, that's the next part of the purport, how will we get the shelter, the protection of the Goswamis? Only by the mercy of Nityaānanda Prabhu. Any other comments anyone has in this one or two texts? Okay, we'll read forward. Yes, Nani Mataji, you want to read, please?
Yes, Prabhu, Dhanda Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Sanatan Kripaya Painu Bhaktira Siddhanta Shri Rupa Kripaya Painu Bhaktira Sapranta. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sisi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. By the mercy of Sanatan Goswami, I have learned the final conclusions of devotional service, and by the grace of Sri Rupa Goswami, I have tasted the highest nectar of devotional service. Sri Sanatan Goswami Prabhu, the teacher of the science of devotional service, wrote several books, of which the bhāgavata-sevayā is very famous. Anyone who wants to know about the subject matter of devotees, devotional service and Krishna must read this book. Sanatan Goswami also wrote a special commentary on the 10th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, known as Dashama Tipanni, which is so excellent that by reading it one can understand very deeply the pastimes of Krishna in his exchanges of loving activities. Another famous book by Sanatan Goswami is the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, which states the rules and regulations for all divisions of Vaishnavas, namely Vaishnava householders, Vaishnava brahmacharis, Vaishnava vanaprasthas, and Vaishnava sannyasis. This book was especially written, however, for Vaishnava householders. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami has described Sanatan Goswami in his prayer, Vilapa Kusuma Manjali, verse 6, where he has expressed his obligation to Sanatan Goswami in the following words. Vairagya Yuga Bhakti Rasam Prayantaner Apaya Yam Yamam Anabhi Sum Andham Kripam Buddhiryaha Paradukha Dukhi Sanatanastam Prabhum Ashrayami. I was willing to drink the nectar of devotional service possessed by renunciation, but Sanatan Goswami, out of his causeless mercy, made me drink it, even though I was otherwise unable to do so. Therefore, he is an ocean of mercy. He is very compassionate to fallen souls like me, and thus it is my duty to offer my respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also, in the last section of the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, specifically mentions the names of Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and Srila Jiva Goswami, and offers his respectful obeisances unto them under the lotus feet of these three spiritual masters, as well as Raghunath Das. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami also accepted Sanatana Goswami as a teacher of the science of devotional service. Srila Rupa Goswami is described as the Bhakti Rasacharya, or one who knows the essence of devotional service. His famous book Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is the science of devotional service. And by reading this book, one can understand the meaning of devotional service. Another of his famous books is Ujjvala Nilamani. In this book, he elaborately explains the loving affairs and transcendental activities of Lord Krishna and Radharani. So I'll summarize. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam are very important books. And if you want to get a copy, please contact Shiva Vilas Govind Prabhu. Back to you, Prabhu.
Krishna, thank you so much, Mataji. So, look at the mood of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami again and again, giving credit to the teachers. That's the main lesson I feel. By the mercy of Sanatana Goswami, I have learned this. By the grace of Srila Rupa Goswami, I have tasted this. Right? So, not just speaking from the words, but really living by it, that whatever, sometimes in bhakti we may get some, oh, Prabhuji, you distributed so many books, or Mataji, you cook such amazing food, or you give nice class, or you read very nicely, or you sing very nice shloka. All this is by the mercy of our teachers, right? The Guru Parampara. So humble, genuine devotee always is well aware of this fact. The moment I think, oh yes, I really know the verses. Oh yes, I really give good class. Oh yes, I really did a lot of book distribution. That's the beginning of pride, and pride comes before the fall. So we have to, Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta is teaching, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is teaching by his example again and again, Ashray, 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 Kripa Painu, Kripa Painu, Kripa Painu. I'm just the ocean, I'm just the undeserving, unqualified recipient of their mercy. That's his mood. And it is only by their mercy, whatever I am doing, they are the doers. I am just a puppet in their hands. As Prabhupada had this mood. Nachao kashtera putali yatha, nachao se mati. Oh Krishna, make me dance the way you want me to dance. Oh Krishna, I do not know what to speak. I do not know the words. My English is also, you come and let the right words come on my tongue. So that was Prabhupada's mood all the time, all the time. So very, very humble, grateful, and giving the credit to the Gurus. Hare Krishna. Any other comments anyone has? Okay, we'll read 204. Anyone wants to read this verse? Shilpa Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Text 204. Jaya Jaya Nityānanda Charana-ravinda Yanha Haita Painu Sri Radha Govinda. I think it's a song type sloka. Hare Krishna. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glory to the lotus feet of Lord Nityaananda, by whose mercy I have attained Sri Radha Govinda. Purport: Srila Narottama Dasa Thakur, who is famous for his poetic composition known as Prarthana, has lamented in one of his prayers, "When will the Lord Nityaananda be merciful upon me so that I'll forget all material desires?" Srila Narottama Dasa Thakur confirms that unless one is free from material desires to satisfy the needs of the body and senses, one cannot understand the transcendental abode of Lord Krishna Vrindavana. He also, Prabhuji, you want to scroll up? He also confirms that one cannot understand the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna without going through the direction of the 6 Goswamis. In other words, Narottama Dasa Thakur has stated that without the clueless mercy of Nityaananda Prabhu, one cannot enter into the affairs of Radha and Krishna. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhu. So to what I understood, we definitely need the mercy of Guru, our Guru who teaches, and we need to follow them and learn from them. I think you mentioned, and yesterday Pran Govinda Prabhu also mentioned. I mean, every Guru from ISKCON mentioned that we have to learn from. We need to know the knowledge first before we to clarify our doubt, and then that knowledge should be coming from the parampara. The Sanatana and Parampara. So I think that's what is mentioned here. But I think the topic may focus here is love between Radha and Radha Devi and Krishna. And to know that, we need to learn from our gurus. And their mercy has to be upon us for us to better understand. That's what. Please correct, Prabhu. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you, Mataji. So nicely you share and sum up the Prabhupada's purport. Anyone can recall which verse is being referred here? Narottama Thakur's prayer. Which prayer is being referred here? Vishaya chariya kabe shuddha habe mana kabe hama heribo Shri Vrindavana Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti Kabe Hama Bhujabo Se Jugala Priti. Let's read this. And of course, the second also is quite relevant here. Then when will I get the mercy of Lord Nityaananda Prabhu? And when, by his mercy, will the desire of material enjoyment become very insignificant? Tuchha, right? Right now, it's very, very significant. The whole world is running after material enjoyment, right? But it's only by the mercy of Lord Nityaananda it will seem to be insignificant. Right now, which is the most significant becomes very insignificant. The holy name appears to me. And which is most insignificant seems very significant. Material enjoyment, right? That's a plight of conditioned soul like myself, which is the real jewel, Chintamani, Nama Chintamani Krishna, seems very insignificant. But to the Goswamis, they were so absorbed in this nectar of holy name, nectar of Radha Krishna Seva, that And that's what Nityaṁ Thakur, of course, he's a pure soul, pure devotee. But he, out of his humility, is saying like that, when will this material enjoyment, only by the mercy of Lord Nityananda, it will seem insignificant. And when will my mind be purified, be free from material anxieties and desires, then I'll be able to understand Jugala Preeti. Jugala means these two, Radha Krishna. Then my life will be successful. When, kabe? So devotee does not feel, oh, I have this, I am great, I chant nicely, I am a book distributor, I am a good cook, I am a good kirtaniya. They're not like that. When will I be eager to study the books left by the six Goswamis, headed by Rupa Raghunatha? By their instruction, I shall be able to understand properly the loving affairs of Radha Krishna. And what is my only aspiration? To serve the lotus feet of the six Goswamis headed by Rupa and Raghunath. Nityaṁ Thakur's constantly prays at your lotus feet. Prarthana koriye sada narottama dasa. So this is the prarthana Nityaṁ Thakur is doing. And we all should render the same prayers, falling in the mood of Nityaṁ Thakur. Only by the mercy of Guru and Guru Parampara, and we can get to the service of Radha Krishna. Any other comments? Anyone has any thoughts, additions, questions? Okay, next verse 205. Yes, Rishri Tripti Mataji, you want to read, please?
स्क्रीन पे प्रभु जी खाली पर्पल शो हो रहा है.
Yeah, this is the verse. Can you see? I have highlighted this. My mouse is moving. Haribol? Maybe there was some connection issue. Vipul bro, you can read.
Sure, Guruji. Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, Dharma Pranam, all glories to Śrīla Prabhupada. Text 205. Jagai madai hoite mui she papishto, Purusher kito hoite mui she logishto. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupada Vijaya. I am more sinful than Jagai and Madai, and even lower than the worms in the stool. So, pure devotee always in humble, and they think they're the lowest in their position. Actually, that is the opposite in the spiritual position. More humbler, more spiritually lifted. Back to Guruji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Wow, this is heavy, right? Jagai, Madai. We know these two brothers. Yamaraj's terabytes of hard disk was full, noting down their sinful activities. There was no sin they had not committed. They would open the scripture, find the words of worst sin, they would commit that. But what is the mood of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami? Jagai Madai Hoita Muni se Papishta. I am more sinful, more papi. Than whom? Jagai Madai. Purishera Kita. Kita is worm. Haite Muni se Laghishta. Lower than the worm in the stool. This is very, very elevated consciousness. Of course, we cannot imitate it. Even if we say it, but the next moment, the pride will just pop up. So, worm in the stool. No one wants to even get to the stool, right? No one wants to be close to the stool, right? It's abominable. It's unclean. It's disease and what like. No one wants to even talk about it. What to speak of even getting closer, right? But worm in the stool. And what is like lower than the worm in the stool? Like that's like We cannot even fathom. Lower than the worm in the stool. So this shows the mood of great souls. More humble than the blade of grass, thinking themselves lower than the worm in the stool. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also mentioned this in his bhajan. If one has that mood, then only one can chant always. Kirtaniya Sadahari, right? Trinadapi Sunichim. The moment we think I'm better than others, we will not be able to chant properly. We will not be able to do bhakti properly. We will end up being fault finding. We'll end up comparing. Oh, he's bad. Oh, she's bad. Oh, she doesn't do this nice. Oh, I cook better than her. Oh, I play better than her. I give better class. Oh, I do this better. I'm a better driver. I'm a better this. I have better income. I have a better house. I have a better car. All that crap will come. The moment we think I'm better, what does a worm in the stool will think? Will the worm in the stool have a thought like this, that I'm better than anyone? Even if he has, like Krishna's Kairaj Goswami is saying, I'm even lower than that. Actually, he is better than me. The worm in the stool is better than me. That's what it means, to be lower than the worm in the stool. No one wants to be a worm, especially even if one says, oh, I want to be a bee, but hey, you want to be a bee near the flower, near the honey? No one wants to be near the stool, right? Even in their dreams, even in their imagination, like, okay, oh, I am flying like a bee, or like flying like a butterfly, like in the bed of roses and stuff. But in the bed of stool, or in the stool, or even lower than that, no. But the point here is genuine humility, thinking everyone is better. Everyone has lots and lots of wonderful special qualities. I mean, Jagai and Madai, they were really sinful. But Krishna's Kairaj Goswami is thinking that they have a lot of spiritual qualities. They are even better than me. Yudhishthira Maharaj also, same principle, thinking everyone to be better than him. On the contrary, Duryodhana thought everyone to be, lower than him. And therefore, he was a victim of pride, ego, envy, jealousy, fault finding, and ultimately such people are destroyed. So very nice verse again. Any thoughts, comments anyone has, please feel free to add or share or correct. Okay, 206. Yes, anyone? Yes, Dear Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandat Pranam, how close to Śrī Prabhupada, 206. Mora name sune e tara punya kshaya. Mora nama laye e tara papahaya. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta from Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anyone who hears my name loses the results of his pious activities. Anyone who utters my name becomes sinful. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So I think it is exactly the opposite. Anyone who hears Tammadasa Thakur's name or utters his name will become more pious. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Please.
Krishna is speaking this.
Yes, sorry.
Thank you, bro. This is the genuine mood. Of course, as you rightly said, just by chanting the names of the devotees like Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami again and again we will get purified. But they don't think like that. What is in his heart? He is thinking, if they chant my name, they will lose all their piety. Anyone who hears my name, they will lose all their piety. Even if they chant my name or they utter my name, they will become sinful. So all of you are technically Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. We are becoming sinful, right? Because we are chanting his name. And he is saying, anyone who utters my name, or you're hearing also, all the piety will go. Right? Any thoughts? Can anyone link it to something else in this connection? Anything coming to your mind to prove or disapprove this point? Okay, one pastime coming to my mind in this regard.
Can you please reinstate your statement or question?
I was mentioning that here it's mentioned by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami that anyone who hears my name will lose all the pious activities. And anyone who utters my name, we are again and again, every day we say Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, right? So basically we are becoming sinful and we are becoming very impious. Any thoughts, any other scriptural references or pastimes or connections to prove or disapprove this point? Anything in this connection coming to your mind? Okay, I'll share one story which is coming to my mind. Who is the spiritual master of Bhakti, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur?
Jagannath Das Baba.
Jagannath Das Babaji.
Mm,
Gaur Kishore Das
Gaur
Babaji.
Kishore Das Babaji.
Oh, sorry, Gaur-Kishore.
Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. Bhakti not Thakur's Guru Maharaj's Jagannath Das
Jagannath.
Babaji. So Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, we know that he was technically by external calculation was not very literate. But Siddhanta Thakur was totally opposite. But of course, the real knowledge is the knowledge of love of Godhead, which he had in abundance. But he was such an advanced soul. But advanced souls are very, very humble too. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. He said, I'm so sinful. When I die, drag my body in the streets of Navadvip. Like, maybe actually I have seen this when I was in India, maybe, and I was like 5, maybe like in 5th grade, around 10 years. In India, they would catch a pig and they would drag the pig's body, like basically drag on the street. He said, I'm so sinful. If I get the dust of the Navadvip Vasis, then maybe I'll get some purification. And some people who were so-called followers, they were not disciples of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. They were not his disciples, but somehow they wanted to, get the body and to later get money out of, because, great soul's body, and then they'll make samadhi and then reuse it to mint money, right? Because people will come, put some dakshina and all that. And they were literally about to do so. This is not a literal instruction here. This does not mean, hey, never chant the name of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, otherwise it becomes sinful. This is because their heart is so humble. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, you dare not touch his body. And they were like so-called leaders, spiritual leaders. He said, you are calling yourself spiritual leader and this and that. Anyone who did not have any illicit sex in his life can come and take his body. Then he said, what to speak of illicit sex in your life? Anyone who did not have illicit sex in last 1 year can come and take his body. Then he said, anyone who did not have illicit sex in 1 month and can come and take. No one dared to come forward. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, with great awe and reverence, gave the proper samadhi to his Guru Maharaj. Of course, he said to drag, did he disobey the instruction? That's not the meaning. If we are chanting here the names of Krishna, we are not disobeying, but we have to understand the context here. The context is to look at the humility of great souls. The context is to see that how they are now not thinking. He is so humble, so down to earth, so simple, such a pure devotee, the recipient of the mercy of Nitya̱nanda. Nitya̱nanda Prabhu came in his dream and said to go to Vrindavan. With such a person, never thinks, oh, look at me, I'm the one who Nitya̱nanda Prabhu told go to Vrindavan. I'm the recipient. No, he is thinking, I'm so sinful. All the last 2-3 verses we read is basically, talks about how much, what's in the heart of a pure Vaishnava. Trinadapi Sunicana. What does Trinadapi Sunicana mean? Like, how can one be so humble? We all want to hear our name being glorified, right? Oh, Shubh-Vilas did that. Oh, Shubh-Vilas is this. Oh, Shubh-Vilas, oh, nice class. Oh, this. And then Shubh-Vilas feel, yeah, they are all very, very nice people because they are glorifying me. Haribol, yes. That's ego, that's pride, but what great souls think? They are thinking, if anyone chants my name, they'll lose all their piety. They do not want to take credit. They are like the salt. They do everything. They're never hungry for name, fame, puja, labh, pratishtha, which is compared to subtle sex by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Hungry for name, fame, adoration. Oh, I gave nice donation. Oh, I was the one who did all the service. Oh, if I would have not been there, the show would not run. Oh, people should glorify me. Oh, why they're glorifying him more? He did less service, I did more service. They should glorify me more. All that is, great souls are not thinking. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is not thinking like this. I'm just speaking what I have heard from my teachers, but this is very, 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 very important to develop this mood. And if we have that mood, we will always be happy. Because if we do not have this mood, then we will expect entitlement, right? Hare Kṛṣṇa Yamuna Mataji, I was hearing a class that one of the biggest problem is that people, even one, like pani ka glass utha dete, I'm entitled. No, they should glorify me and things like that. Entitlement, expectation. If one does not expect anything, then even very tiny thing also comes, he's happy, she's happy. And it does not come, that's fine. After all, they are not expecting, or they're even expecting worse. This one is Swaranath Maharaj was recently, I was hearing, he is saying, we should expect that lots of problems will come. So if less problems come, then we will be happy. Oh, I was expecting a lot more. Only what to speak of, That's a formula to be always happy. Material world means a lot of problems will anyways come. But if we expect, if we have like a lot of expectations, then expectations is the root cause of suffering. Then we will suffer. Let's say we go to some place and feel, oh, I will have the best time of my life, and I'll do this, I'll do that. Oh, I'll be very happy, and this, so many plans, so many this, and then things never go the way we plan. So then we will suffer. But if we lower our expectations or think that worse will come. So if a devotee, and this is how a devotee thinks, if a devotee gets like let's say a fracture, devotee thinks, I'm so blessed and grateful. Actually, my whole leg would have been amputated, but Krishna only gave me a tiny fracture. So merciful my Lord is. He only gave me a token of all the sinful activities I have committed. He's so merciful. This is tiny fracture. So happy. On the other hand, another person could just cry, hey, why me? I had to go to some maybe 5K run, and why this happened to me, and the whole plan is choppered and all that. So same thing perceived differently. So these few verses just show the humility of Lord Śrī Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Any more comments, anyone, before we pause? Any questions, thoughts, additions anyone has? Sorry if I overspoke. I certainly overspoke beyond my realization, but whatever I'm speaking is for my own, so I can try to follow it, because I have a lot of pride and ego. So please excuse me if I overspoke beyond I should have said. Anyone wants to say, tell, ask anything? Okay, so then we will pause and continue tomorrow. Grantraj, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai, Śrī Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Mahāprabhu ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaः. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.